Before you get into the story, make sure you hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel for more heartbreaking tales. My ex-wife Jenny is 25 years old and I'm 27 years old. Let's say the names of my ex-wife and me are Jenny and Michelle. Our first meeting took place in a restaurant where she was working at the time. Originally from a small village in the state of Mexico, I moved to Las Vegas a few years ago. I have a lot of experience in the field of cooking, and I used to be a chef. Having been forced to leave Mexico by circumstances of Mexico to come to Las Vegas for a couple of reasons. My cousin had gone there, so I decided to come here as well. Whatever the case may be, I ended up coming to Las Vegas to stay with my cousin, who is a security guard at a bank and works there. In order for me to get a job, he helped me a lot. I regret to say that the first 3 months were very tough because people did not give jobs to Mexicans for whatever reasons. As a result of the job situation, I was become increasingly frustrated. Finally, after a few months, I decided to get back to my hometown because my old savings were running out. So I decided to return home. It was my cousin who allowed me to stay and he supported me a lot. So he told me that if I stayed just for a little longer, then he was confident that I would be able to find a job. I was hopeless due to the fact that I was in a financial crisis. My decision was to go back to where I came from. I stopped at a restaurant on my way home for lunch. It was a small town, and while entering, I noticed there was a sign on the wall that said they needed a chef. When I first saw Jenny, she was a cute girl with beautiful eyes. It happened that she came to me for taking orders, so I spoke to her about the position of the chef. According to her, the chef was leaving the job because he was moving to Canada with his family, so they needed someone to replace him as he was leaving the job. After that, I requested her to take me to the owner of the store. In response, she asked, "Why are you asking this? Could you please let me know if there is anything wrong with that?" Then I laughed and said, "No, everything is great, everything is fantastic." It was then that I told her about the fact that I'm a chef and I'm currently seeking a job. As I was passing from here to there, "I came here for lunch." She replied that it would be great if you could come with me. During my meeting with the owner, I explained my skills to him. He said he wanted to give me a chance, but before, he told me to cook something as a trial. It was then that I told him that I would be able to make him a regional dish, and he asked me to make him one of my regional dishes. When I made the dish before the designated time, I gave it to him, and he very much appreciated it after tasting it. Anyhow, I could sense that Jenny was also very happy about it as well. All the time she was there, she was with me. I finally got a job in a small restaurant in the town, and I am very grateful for it. My thanks to Jenny was expressed in a very delicious meal that I prepared for her. Please accept my sincere apologies for the background information, but I believe that this will make you more incredible in your storytelling. Anyhow, from here on, we were able to begin our story. It was evident from the very first day that Jenny and I had a strong attraction to each other. During the course of time, we became very close and started to develop a relationship with each other. There was nothing out of the ordinary about her. I had the ambition of opening a restaurant there that I could run myself. For the reason that it was working very hard there, in spite of the fact that she always supported me, I felt like sometimes she was jealous of the direction I was going in my life, and on the other hand, I was wrong about some things about my life. I worked at the restaurant a year ago as a chef, and the real thing was that the restaurant was getting success within a few weeks of my joining, and the relationship between us ran for a year. We were getting a lot of positive feedback about our food. As a result, we've become known all over the town for our services. After working there for 2 years, I gathered enough money from which I could start my own restaurant, in addition to the fact that I planned to get a loan from bank to finance it. After getting my loan, I was able to open a new restaurant within a few months of getting it. It was a dream come true for me, as well as being happy for it. I also planned to propose to Jenny in order to get married. During the summer of that year, along with the happiness of our marriage, our restaurant was running well and we were earning a fine profit from it. Our marriage went well, and then Jenny quit her job and joined me in our restaurant. After joining me, she stopped working and as well gained a considerable amount of money as well. But she began spending a large amount of money that we were earning. Meanwhile, I had cleared the amount of my loan in the meantime. As a middle-class boy who grew up in a middle-class family, this was a big step forward for me. When I came to Las Vegas, I had nothing, not even the money to eat something, but fate brought me here and gave me an opportunity that I will never forget. As a matter of fact, my restaurant was one of the best-selling establishments in the town. On Jenny's side, I could say that she began doing all those things that she later regretted in the future when she looked back on them. In other words, her activities have changed as a result. Since I loved her so much, I had no problem with her spending a lot of money on herself. But the issue came into my life a bit too late when she spent a huge amount from my wealth on herself. Nonetheless, we had sex in the early morning as we were being both very horny, and we both were getting ready for work. Then we had our sex. I would say that we were actually very open to each other and always changed clothes in front of each other. She was wearing the green color bra and panty on that particular day, and after spending the whole day with her friends, I was aware that she was hanging out with them. Upon my return home, I called her and she answered the call. I heard some voices of a man talking slightly behind her when she picked up the call, and I did not ask her about it. However, she did mention that she would be coming home in an hour. In the meantime, when she came home, I asked her if she would like to have dinner, but she replied that she had already eaten. When I went to bed, I was feeling hot at that time, so I started taking off my clothes in the bed. After I took off my clothes, I took off hers also and saw that her bra and panty were fancy ones, like for special occasions. She wore a green color bra and panty when I last saw her, and now it is a fancy one, even though she did not come home for the whole day. The first time I asked her that question, she was astonished at my question and she instantly nervously laughed and replied, "Well, honey, it was a fancy one, not a green one. I wore it for you. We can forget about it, and you should focus on my hotness instead of the color of my bra." As a result, I forgot everything and she slept. However, I still had that thought in the back of my mind that maybe I got that wrong and I tried to forget it. But I think it was a sign from God. There was something in my doubt that seemed to be pointing me in the right direction. Upon waking up, I went to use the bathroom as soon as I could. Then I noticed her bag laying aside the table. The bag that she had in front of her eyes came into my view when I was on my way to the washroom. When I picked it up, I found a green panty and a bra inside it. There was no doubt in my mind now that she had lied to me. However, I am still unsure of what to do. It was something I wanted to know. It was because of my free hand that I thought she was doing something bad. I did not ask her. Instead of that, I was aware of it, and I was going to ask her, but she would definitely tell me a lie if I did. The next day, I gave this duty to one of my younger employees. He was to simply follow her and figure out what she was doing behind me. As a consequence, I forgot about what had happened and worked and waited for my employer to inform me of what was going on after spying Jenny. A few days after we had spoken, he came to me and told me something that gave me goosebumps. According to him, she had a boyfriend and he saw her going to a hotel today with her boyfriend. Furthermore, he said he was spying on her for 4 days, and out of those 4 days, she met him in 3 of those days. In addition, he was quite certain that she was having an affair with that man. Due to the fact that I did not have proof for it, or I did not see her doing it, I could not believe just based on theories alone. My request to him is that he should provide me with an authentic proof that she was cheating on me, which would confirm that she was doing so. In response, he said, "Okay, sir, give me some more time." At that point, he explained that it is quite difficult for him to do so he had a friend who works as a private investigator who could help him in this regard. Please provide me with the rock-solid proof of whatever it is, no matter how much money it costs. In order to solve the case, he managed a detective. In the meantime, I was waiting for it to give me a report. In the wake of Jenny's birthday, she told me that she was planning to throw a big party for the occasion. As soon as I started avoiding her, I also prepared myself mentally so that if I got any evidence against her, I would know what to do as soon as possible. A day before the party, my employer called me immediately in the night and asked me to come meet with them. As soon as I got there, I met him, as well as the detective who was with him. The first thing they did was to send me condolences, and after that they gave me an envelope which was full of photographs and a flash drive. I asked them about the flash drive, and they told me that it was a video about her that was on it. Due to the lack of confidence on my part, I was unable to see the video because I did not think I could handle it. Whatever the case may be, pictures were enough to convey the scenario. That night, I did not come home from work, due to the fact that I was not in the state to face her. As a result of my anger, I was not sure what I could do. So for the entire night I was frozen, and then I decided to confront her because it was her party. So I planned to reveal all of her pictures and videos to all of the guests present. However, I called her and said, please handle all arrangements and I'll reach there as soon as possible, because I had some urgent work to do that needed to be done. In the early afternoon, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, when I arrived at the home party, it was in a full swing. As I walked over the table, I just sat down and sat quietly. During that time, I watched her closely and wondered how she was able to accomplish this feat. No matter what, before she cut the cake, she called me to join her while she was cutting the cake, since her pictures of fuck were in my hand. I went there with the picture and flash drive. It was just a matter of cutting a cake for her. I took the mic and announced to all of them that I had something to show everyone, and I handed her a small envelope as a gift, as a token of my appreciation. The pictures of her infidelity that I gave her and the video that I played in front of everyone were examples of her infidelity. In anger, while she was watching all of this, she was frozen. I slammed the cake into her face and then I kicked her out of the house in front of everyone. There is a possibility that this would be one of the most difficult situations she had ever faced in her life. After a few days, she came back to me with a report of pregnancy and pleaded with me for her forgiveness for what I had done. First of all, I got confused as well. Maybe it was my child. Nevertheless, I did not know for sure, so I decided to get her tested to find out. The fact that she refused to have tests also gave me the impression that she was trying to play me once again. I've done a case on her this time in regards to defamation. Right after I kicked her out of the house, she went to my restaurant and shouted loudly and disturbed everyone there. She cursed me out in front of everyone. It's clear that I won the case, but I wasn't able to forgive her what she had done to me, and I received the fine that the court ordered her to give me as a form of compensation. The events that took place changed not only my life, but also perspective on my life. I used to be a person who trusted everyone easily, but now that I've experienced the biggest cheat of my life, I'm very sharp when judging people in all aspects of their lives. I still don't know why she did this to me. I still cry for her because I trusted her and loved her more than anything.